So for my next 4-inch Hobbit figure review, I'm going to be taking a look at the single-carded Thorin Oakenshield, who is the leader of the company, and, while not the main character, is a pretty big part of the story of The Hobbit. Thorin in a 4-inch figure is available single carded or in a 2-pack set with the very large Goblin King, which I debated about getting, but he's just too large, and unfortunately I'm running out of space to display stuff, and thus the smaller 4-inch figures were, the best bet. He's also available in a 6-inch figure. In fact, he was the only 6-inch figure there out of the I believe 4 or 5 figures in the first set of 6-inch figures. Anyway, so I figured the smaller 4-inch figure would be fine, and I didn't need the large Goblin King, and so thus I paid a little bit more than I think this guy is worth at $10 rather, $9.99. But I just had to have him. He is like I said, he is pretty much the second character in the story. Taking a look at the back of the package here, you can see a picture of the figure, and you do get a little bio on him and other figures in this wave. I did take a look at the 6-inch figure, and that I was also really amazed at how well the Bridge Direct, the company that is doing these figures, did kind of pick up on the same level of detail as the Toy Biz company did when they did the Lord of the Rings figures. If you take a look at the 6-inch figure, his costume on the figure is layered exactly like the costume is layered on the actor. So it looks very realistic and neat. There's a lot of detail, and I've come to find out that there's actually sculptors and people who worked at Toy Biz on the Lord of the Rings figures working for the Bridge Direct. I was curious as to how they would carry that to the smaller 4-inch scale figures, and they do, instead of having several pieces of softer plastic for the layers, they do kind of condense that into one layer. They still have lots of detail and in sculpt and in paint. So if you take a look at his tunic or whatever, his jacket, you can see a pattern on there, and as well as his belt there. You can see the pattern of his armor underneath there. So it carries on into the back there. You can see details in his hair and details on his gauntlets. Very nicely sculpted and painted pretty good for a 4-inch figure as well. There's only really a couple of like blob type occurrences with the paint, and that's down here on the back where the strap there gets a little bit sloppy, and that's about it. He does come pretty well armed. He's got a regular sword here, as well as the elven sword that he claims from the goblins, Orcrist. And you can see that you pull that, and there's some elven script detail on the blade there, as well as some nice detail on the scabbard. And there's a peg which you can use to peg on his back there. He does come with this shield, and yeah, at first I saw it on him and I wondered what it was, but I guess this is a kind of a conceit of the movie. I don't really remember him having something described like this in the book, but as much as I am a fan of The Hobbit, I read Lord of the Rings a lot more than The Hobbit, so I can't remember if he has a shield that is like this, but it is kind of neat, and it plays on his name. It's obviously a shield made from some sort of tree, and that would play on his name, Oakenshield, so I feel that it's probably like a family heirloom, and you know, it's made out of oak, and it's his shield, so it's literally his name, Oakenshield. And it's got these nice metal barbs on here that I guess he can use to clock people with the back of his elbow after he's blocked something, you know, blocked a blade with that. So it is kind of neat, and it's got a peg on there, and it pegs onto there, onto his forearm, but it is kind of loose, which is why I've kept the elastic band on there that he comes with. So for articulation, his head does go side to side. His hair is pretty solid in the back here, but still a little bit, he does give a little bit, so you will get some articulation left and right, but not too much. He doesn't really go up and down either due to the hair as well. His arms do go all the way around, but they do kind of pop out because of the flares at the shoulders. So they don't go exactly straight up, but they do go in and out. He bends and rotates at the elbow and rotates at the wrist, but he does have waist articulation there, so you can get him turning left and right. His legs go in and out, and they rotate, so to get him moving forward, you gotta rotate them, move him forward, and then rotate his knees, which do bend and rotate as well, and that's about it. The leg articulation is a little bit, I don't know, I'm not as happy with the leg articulation as I would with a figure that you could just move the leg forward instead of having to rotate and, you know, do it like that. He's pretty neat, and the figure here really does make me want to see how the actor, which I really do not am too familiar with, I really want to see how he is as Thorin in the movie itself. And you know, I think this could be a really big breakout role for the guy. So having the figure here really does make me eager to see the character in the movie and how he's going to be. And so that's it for Thorin Oakenshield from the 4-inch Hobbit line. And stay tuned for next review in this line. And until then, I'll see you.